last minute thoughts?
Good morning. I'm watching the end of Kelsey here, and he's lost sight of the clock. I don't even know if I'm there. It goes finally on my monitor showing me that I am indeed streaming. So, yes, I'm alive. All right. Welcome. Good morning, everybody. Did a little jolty transition from Kelsey over to here. I came in the house and walked in about quarter till, and the phone dropped the connection to for me on Kelsey's panel, and I disappeared abruptly. But I'm back, and none the worse for wear. So welcome, Tuesday morning. What is today? The 9th. Yes, and let's get to it. My friends. Drink it if you got it. Brian Dish says you're late, Mitch. Was I late? I hit the button right on time. Close enough anyway. Close enough. Well, that was fun this morning. That was fun being out there and in the dark, going on to Kelsey's panel. We all had a little trouble finding him this morning because they decided to delete the video. Right at 6 o'clock, all of a sudden, my thing said, an error has occurred. The video you're trying to find has been deleted. And I said, whoa, where's Kilts? And then frantically, they must have been creating a new video. Didn't have time for a thumbnail or anything, and boom, finally, there it was. Off to a slow start. But we're here. Nice to see those guys this morning. Angela, Peter, Kelsey, Alia, me, Kelly. It's always fun. And Kelsey called me last night. He was out there by his, up there on the lake in New York by his pool, cigar in hand. And we talked for a while. We usually have really good, lengthy conversation. Anyway, we talked for a while, and the next thing I know, he's getting on his little boat. And I'm going for a boat ride on the lake with him. And it actually was amazing. I could actually hear him, and he could hear me, but it was a little hard to keep up a conversation. But I got to go for a boat ride last night, a virtual boat ride. That was nice. Very entertaining. It's good to hear that he's going to be in Orlando the 29th. I'll go over there as well. We'll go to the Healing Humanity movie, and then he'll probably come over to my place, crash on my couch, and the next day we will play with the Bighorn Grill and make a video about it. By that time, I'll have released the video. It's a couple weeks away, and well, I'm going to release the video next week. But it'd be interesting. I have high hopes for that thing, and I hope it isn't too much of a pain in the ass to use or keep clean. That's one of my big concerns. But we'll see. So far, so good. There's been a lot of work for me, especially waiting to see me assembling that table thing that I had to put together yesterday. It's like a Keystone Cops movie. Considering the stroke and all. But I'm trucking on and we're getting it done. So how was everybody this morning? Good to see you. Kelsey had a pretty good Uncle Charlie is putting questions in. To spray pesticides on coffee beans, drink organic coffee. Okay, Charlie. I won't debate that with you this morning. I told you yesterday what I thought about the word organic. I think it's all a fraud. And in organic, you're allowed to spray pesticides. Look it up. So, thank you for your opinion, my friend. Now, let me get back to the beginning of the chat, because I just saw that come across, and I saw the cues. Those cues really do. And I'll tell you what, do me a favor, Charlie, and everybody else. That is not a question. Please don't put QQQs if you just want to show off your expertise. Okay? Save me a little trouble and a little commentary on it, and I won't have to debate you on whether you're right or not. I used to say, put QQQs in the chat if you want to steer the conversation, but that's not how you're using it. If you just want to show us how smart you are and don't want to take part in this conversation, it doesn't cost a cent to start your own YouTube channel. I encourage it. I encourage it. You could say anything you want, comment about anything you want, but when you put that QQQ in there, that's to attract my attention to it. And I don't know. It's hard to do because I have to get through this in the morning, and I only have so much time. Yesterday we wasted a ton of it on trolls. I don't know how to do this. I'm finding my way every day, just like the rest of you are, trying to figure out not only how to be a carnivore, what's really healthy or what isn't, what's real and what's nonsense, and how to get through a live stream and make it interesting, make it a little entertaining, a little funny, have some coffee. But the QQQs do distract me if they have nothing to do with you asking a question. And that is not a question, that is a statement. Now, if you have a question for the general chat and everybody else, please, yeah, use QQQ. But when you put the QQQs in there should be some kind of a question involved, not just a statement of opinion. I hate rules, don't you? I try. I try. Oh, at any rate, hey, good morning to everybody. And Mary, how you doing, Mary? Good to see you. First one in this morning. What time was that? That was last night. Yes, they didn't delete those. How about that? Francine Bourgeois. Hi, Mitch and all. Secondhand Vians. Good morning, Francine. Good to see you. Lady June. Good to see you. Wayne Herman from Lake Gaston, North Carolina, WEFM Radio in the morning. Where is it?
Welcome to Morning Coffee with Mitch. Today I have a wow rating system.
Yes.
It's a scale from 1 to 5 wows. Spilling my coffee, that's 1 wow. Aliens landing, 5 wows. This system is a game changer.
That's not the one I wanted to play. This is it.
WEFM in the morning.
Okay. Why didn't that work? There we go. Oh, Mitch. One of those mornings. Wake up, Mitch. Need more coffee. I've been going since 4:30. For some reason, I set my alarm for 5, just in case. Very rarely do I ever sleep till the alarm goes off. Occasionally I forget to turn the alarm off, and I'll be out and busy and do what I'm doing, and then the alarm says 5 o'clock, time to wake up. But 4:30 this morning, wide awake. I got to bed at just before 10 o'clock last night. So, good night's sleep. Have no trouble sleeping, even with the coffee. But I don't drink caffeinated coffee, or hardly ever any coffee, after lunch, afternoon. Richard Williams, good morning from Copper Hill, Tennessee. And good morning to you, Jerry Voitush from Ponte Vedra Beach. Mike Silly Sr.'s here. How you doing, Mike? And Michael Pregler's here. And Barry Simon is here. How you doing? And Dennis is here. Good morning, Dennis. How are you from Mount Dora, Florida now? How do I know that that's Dennis? Because most of you don't know that, DJ Bro. Because for some reason or not, I think I banned him about a year ago. So I'm going to remember why. I get in these moods when, you've seen it, when I just ban everybody I don't like. It's not a good thing. I'm not proud of it. And I got an email from Dennis a few days ago saying, "Why'd you ban me? I'm right here in Florida," and I apologized for banning him. And I said, "Okay, I will work to unban you, my friend." And work I did. It took me about a half an hour of searching, because YouTube doesn't give me a great way to search all those names. But I found it finally after the second try through 500 or 600 names, and unbanned Dennis. And he's back. So now you're a member of the family again. Welcome. Welcome. Good morning. Good to see you. Good to see you. Mike Silly in Tampa's here. How you doing? And Brian Air. Hiya, Brian. How you doing, my friend? Good to see you. Chris Swain from Australia. Hope you and that crew are well. Thank you. Thank you. Yellow Rose. Good morning, good afternoon, Mitch, and everyone from Plymouth, UK. She liked my advice on coffee this morning. I wasn't arguing with Lewis, for those of you that heard it. I was talking in general about, we take sides on everything. Once we take sides, in come all of the people who are scheming and figuring ways to capitalize on whatever particular side you're on, pull us further apart, and capitalize either with a product they want to sell you, or that they're going to get more clicks on their YouTube video, or they can sensationalize this conflict even further. Makes for great thumbnails, titles. And as the division grows in not just coffee drinking, but everything, the intensity of the debate grows, the more outrageous the claims become on both sides, solely to sell something, either a product, a solution, or self-promotion of your YouTube channel and everything else. Because it's drama, and drama sells. There are two wildly divided camps. Coffee extends your life and is good for you. Coffee is going to kill you tomorrow. Neither side has any scientific proof, period, like in most things. The only evidence, if it's real at all, is anecdotal. Look around. Do you see 90-year-olds drinking coffee? Yes. Do you see 90-year-olds eating bacon and eggs? Yes. Do you see 100-year-olds? Yes. Obviously, bacon, eggs, and coffee are not deadly. If so, and if they were as bad for you as all of these pundits claim, there'd be no 90 or 100-year-olds other than cereal eaters. But that's not how it is throughout this country, and all those little greasy spoon diners and all those little towns where all the farmers eat. When you walk in there at 7 o'clock in the morning, it's full of mostly 90 and 100-year-olds sitting around, smoking cigarettes, eating bacon and eggs, and drinking coffee. Where are all the young people, you say? They're poisoning themselves at Starbucks, where they take the perfectly good coffee and put the tons of sugar and other crap in it for you. Now, can we come back in 100 years and see how well they fare? No, it's not happening. It's not science. It doesn't work that way. We're not going to live long enough. And all the while, the pundits, the people that are against drinking coffee, are telling us not to believe our lying eyes. The truth always lies, always. The truth always lies somewhere in the middle. There's no profit. There's no news, breaking news to be made with moderating both sides. It's not sensational, it's not polarizing, and it doesn't sell. And that's the problem we have. So, you want to drink coffee, drink coffee. You want to smoke cigars, smoke cigars. There really is no evidence, none, that cigars are harmful for you. Scientific evidence. There's a lot of old cigar smokers running around, so that's the evidence. Look at that. I don't care if you smoke cigars or not. I have no skin in the game. But I hate to hear people keep demonizing them because it's sensational. I have a harder and harder time every day just watching YouTube. I turned it on early this morning. The first thing I did on my TV was I banned like 20 different channels right off the bat. You can do that. You can say, don't recommend this channel or hide this channel. These are, right off the bat, 20 AI. We have an epidemic of phony AI-generated crap. They call it AI slop. On YouTube this morning, and we keep getting sucked in by the thumbnails and the titles. I'm tired of it. I'm tired of clicking on something only to find it's not a human. It's an animated human, or even worse, a still of a human with text and a voice, a computer-generated voice, AI slop. The content of some of those things may be good because maybe they fed it a good script from a good book. That is true. But I can't stand the idea that I'm watching something made by a machine and not a human. And YouTube is getting tired of that too, and they are banning these channels, and I'm trying to keep up with them. But I get every day 10 or 20 new AI channels with the same crap, and I've learned to recognize them. So I spent the first 10 minutes getting rid of channels, which will be replaced tomorrow morning by another 100 channels, because that's one of the things these AI machines do, is they keep creating new channels on YouTube. As fast as YouTube, it is an epidemic, and it is the beginning of the end for people watching YouTube. If they don't do something about it, they recognize the problem and they're trying. Only problem is, it's not humans trying. They've got AI trying to clean up AI. Now we've got computers policing computers. And as in so many things in this world, the machines are out of control, and they're taking the humans with them. And they're deleting channels like mine of perfectly human content with good followings, because something in their algorithm recognized a word or a phrase in something they put out, labels them as a machine, and one machine kills the other machine. AI can be a useful tool for us. Is it worth the price and the danger? Because the results are scary, But that's what I did this morning. And then went on Kiltsy, and then I got disconnected when I came in the house to try to get ready for this. Yes. 114 people. Wow. Good morning. Good morning to everybody. Lori, how you doing? Good to see you, Lori. And everybody's now. We're not even at 7 o'clock in the chat. Oh, yeah. So I always get behind, 20 minutes behind. And this morning, there's Lori. How you doing, Lori? This morning, yes, sir, back. Lambs, yes, sir, Lambs. We missed you here. Number 1 this morning, followed immediately by Robbie Autry. That is a morning horse race for you. Who came in third? Rick. Rick, good morning from Miami. Good morning, Rick. And I guess in a minute we'll get the morning Milton report. Larry Ryan, good morning, Larry. How you doing, my friend? Good to see you. Marla Kelly is here, and Brian Dish says, you're late, Mitch. Well, actually, it was right at 7 o'clock, so I don't know why I'm late. Maybe because I was running from Kilties. Don Schreiger, how you doing? Good to see you, Don. And Karen Fields is here. Hi, Karen. Chris Swain from Australia. And Liz is here. Hi, Liz. How are you? Let's get this. Thomas is here, and Danny in Boston is here, and Peter chimed in when Kilsey got done. Bride's Biscuit, good morning to you. Max. Hiya, Max, and thinking for myself says good morning. Amanda's here. Good morning, Mitch. And everyone from Merle, Wisconsin. And Rick says, not late here. Yes, I wasn't late. I don't think I was late. I was right on the second, I think. Even though in my monitor where I make sure YouTube actually gets it out there, there was quite a delay. It took more than 30 seconds from the time I went live until YouTube, it actually showed up on my window. So maybe there was some internet traffic or something this morning. Maybe that's why it seemed like it might have been a few seconds late. But that's a problem with being punctual. Is the minute you're 2 seconds late, everybody notices. Most people, they get there when they get there. Some people would call me obsessive, but not. That's broadcasting. When you tune in your TV to the networks, you expect that thing to be right on the second. Right on the second. Brian Dish, good morning to you. Good morning to you. Close enough, says Robbie Audrey. Yeah. Bill Cook, how you doing this morning? And Thomas says, I never let the party, just starts when I get there. There you go. Never late for the party. All right. Please do put QQQ in the chat if you have a question. And even if you have something you want to discuss with everybody. But there should be at least some kind of a question or puzzle involved. Okay. And Max wants to know, how is Milton? Inquiring minds want to know. Here's Kevin. Hi, Kevin. How you doing? Into nearby phone booth for a T-shirt change. You and Superman. You and Superman. I will leave Charlie and Peter's conversation out of this discussion. Let them hash out whatever they're talking about. Everybody's already hard at it. Man, everybody's hard at it. Talking about bacon. I like bacon. And Peter is hard at it this morning. Liz says, I am in regulatory. I can tell you definitely organic is most certainly a scam. That was an interesting reveal during my career. Thank you, Liz. Thank you, Liz. I like people that know something and actually come in and support what I say is my opinion, but it's an informed opinion. It's an informed opinion. But I could be wrong. I could be wrong. Everybody's wrong on most things. The convention of wisdom, public opinion, you can tell when it's conventional wisdom if people use terms like, and I use them all the time to illustrate that. When people say things like, well, everybody knows. How often do you hear that? Everybody knows. Everybody says that. Everybody knows. They say. There's another one. Here I go on a George Carlin-like routine. When people say, well, everybody knows, or they say, well, they say, I used to have a teacher in school who used to say, it's intuitively clear that when anybody uses any of that language, odds are 10 to 1, they're wrong. Because what everybody knows today is the sum total of yesterday's propaganda. What they say today is the sum total of the propaganda that they heard up until today. And the majority of people on this planet are living based on propaganda, and that's obvious, especially in nutrition, where fruits and vegetables are healthy and red meat is deadly, and fat is no good for you. 10 to 1 would be generous. It's 99.9 to 0.01 is what it really is. And the 99 percenters are absolutely wrong, but they have bought into the propaganda of the last 50, 100 years. That's the problem we have today. Watch out for those phrases, everybody knows. They say. And do the opposite, and chances are you'll be right. How long is it going to be before you start hearing people say, well, everybody knows that GLP-1 supplements are the only way to fix this obesity problem we have today. If it isn't that way already. My glass, I don't know, my eyes this morning, I'm having trouble focusing. I can see it clearer without my glasses, but I can't read it. Time to get new glasses. Rick says, I feed and have fun with the troll, okay. I know what you mean, Rick. We're not talking about trolls. Okay, here's an actual question for me from Dennis. What's your opinion on iodine supplements? Well, that's yes. Yes, I have an opinion. Hang on a second. Barry Simon has already given me the meme. The ribs I'm cooking up today, he said. Well, we'll have to show that, but let me answer Dennis's question first. Yes, I have an opinion on iodine. I occasionally put a couple drops of iodine in my morning coffee. 1 or 2 drops, maybe every other day, every third day now. I try to minimize supplements as much as I can. When I think I'm getting enough of what I need from my food, I try to cut back. I've cut back a little on the creatine. I've stopped taking the leucine now. The MCT oil, every couple of days I do it, but not every day in the morning coffee. I've cut back on the magnesium in the evening a little bit. I still drink my 1 dose of electrolyte mix every day. If I don't, I notice more leg cramps at night. And that's because I have a symptom of an imbalance. Now, what are the symptoms of iodine deficiency? Who knows? Who knows? It's usually thyroid related. That seems to be the most common. I don't have any thyroid problems. But there are other people when they say that, there are hundreds of other places we use iodine, and we can do things in this life for prophylactic reasons. Now, a lot of people hear the word prophylactic and their mind immediately goes to the bedroom. But prophylactic means preventative measures. And since a drop or two of iodine in your coffee every couple of days certainly can't hurt anybody or overdose anybody, and there's so much noise out there about the potential benefits of iodine in the human body, that if I use iodine at all, it is purely and 100% a prophylactic measure. My old Jewish ancestors had a great way of putting it, and I've told you this many times before. They had a great way of expressing exactly how I feel about taking iodine. And if you said to one of my old aunts or uncles, I don't know why you're taking that iodine, that's not going to help you, my uncle would look and say, well, couldn't hurt. And that's the attitude. Do you know it's doing any good? No, but it couldn't hurt. And it might be doing some good. And if it's no big deal to you and no great expense and you don't have to go out of your way to do it, and you might benefit, and there's no downside whatsoever to it, no side effects, no bad side, then if it makes you feel good, do it. So that's my answer and my opinion on iodine. Now, if I had a thyroid problem and I noticed that when I take the iodine, my thyroid problem goes away, then I have a reason to take it. I have no reason other than it may help and it couldn't hurt. A lesson I learned from many of my old uncles and aunts, too. A lot of wisdom in some of those old people. Peter says, I agree, Mitch. The organic thing is just marketing. Yeah, it's all marketing, because if you ever just go to the government websites and read the regulations of, and whether they're enforced or not is another story, but in order to use it, you're supposed to, they still allow pesticides, they still allow all the fertilizer and all that other stuff, and it just another propaganda. Lewis says, how much is that new searing station made? It's around $200. It's cheap. It's not expensive for what it is. The ones that the restaurants buy, I don't think are any better built than this thing and cost a fortune. So I know everybody's anxious to see it, and it's been a challenge for me because of the fact that it is outside. I had to get a new propane. My son had to bring me the propane tank. The table I bought for the thing was too flimsy. It's a little heavier than that, so I had to order and get a heavier duty cart for it, which I assembled yesterday, which is a comedy video of its own. Just watching me trying to put this thing together with the legs and the screws and it. But I did it. And wait a minute, let me see if I got a picture of it here that I can show you. I didn't. Let's see if we can see this. It's a little bright. That's a problem with my phone and this camera. But that's the cart that I built with the propane bottle on the side and. Wait a minute. Let me do this a better way, because I want you guys to see this. Let me take this picture. Hang on as usual, we then share it to my email and send it to myself. Pardon the silence. And here it is. All right, so now I will, when it comes into my email, I will show it to you. I'm waiting. It hasn't gotten there yet. There it is. Okay, here comes the picture. There. This is what it looks like right there, sitting up on that table. It has no front door on it. It just sits there open. It's hooked to a propane tank. I sent the wrong picture. I sent the close-up of it without the cart, but all right. Hang on a second, my friends. There it is. Let's send this picture. There might be a better way to do this, but this I know works. Okay, Debbie, and get my email address in there, and we'll send it, and I'll show you what the whole final thing looks like as soon as it comes up. It's kind of a big picture, so it's going to take a few seconds for it to get to my email box. There it is, and here's the picture, and there it is. Okay, so let me get Lewis's thing off there. That's what the final version of this thing looks like. It's taken me weeks to get to this point, and a lot of work, and especially in my stroked out condition, to do by myself. Now, Mike Seeley Sr. helped me unbox it, but I had bought this table and it was just too flimsy for it. This thing needs a substantial table or a stand, and you need to be able to get it 3 feet away from the house, according to the safety instructions. It is open front like that, and it has 2 grill/shelves that can slide anywhere along that in these slots to get it closer to that 1500 degree heating element in the top. I fired it up yesterday for the first time. I fired it up to do a burn off. You know, a new appliance sometimes smells a little because of the packing oils and preservatives, the shipping stuff. Well, this thing sat there and did smoke a little bit, and it got hot. You could feel it. I think it's going to really do the job. Really do the job. This is I got this cart, and when I finally get through with this, I'll put links to all this stuff, if you can wait for it, that I found that I think will work real good for this. It's got 2 wheels on the cart down here, so I can roll it around. Between the weight of the propane and the weight of all this stuff, it needs a little heavier duty. But I don't want to set my house on fire. I just want to set the steak on fire. We'll see. I got a cover. I got a black cover, kind of like the one on my barbecue grill here. I do have a black cover for it. When it's not used and it cools off, I'll just cover the whole mess, leave it sit out there right in front of the house. And the carport, I don't have a garage. I don't have a backyard or any of that kind of stuff like most people do. In the community where I live, you got to figure out how to do these things. The people with big houses and things, kind of like one step better than trying to figure out how to do them if you live in an apartment. That's even harder. At least I got a nice carport. I can keep this stuff out there. Keep a couple of lawn chairs out there. And the table that I bought for this in the first place was much less expensive, and it will serve as a great side table to use for keeping, plates and things. This cart does have a thing where you can hang utensils, and this particular utensil that's hanging right here is something that comes with this, and it hooks into those grill plates and allows you to take them in. You'll see all that in the video. Neat as hell. Neat as hell. Easy to use once you get to this point. So we got to this point. Going to cook on it today. Going to probably release the video early next week as soon as I get a discount link from them. But even without the discount, this thing is only about $200. I paid $100 for the table, but maybe you already got something. It weighs about 35 pounds, so it's not like it's that heavy, but it's too heavy for some of these flimsy little fold-up portable tables that they sell for people to take on camping trips with them. This needs something a little more substantial. So that, Lewis, I hope answers your question and lets you know where I'm at as far as the adventure, because that's what I got here. That's why I love these things. If I can find products that really make carnivore neat, that's great. That's great. And it gives me something to do. How much content can I create about just eat fatty meat? You run out of stuff to do. I've said it, everything I have to say, I've said 100 times over. I have 700 videos about carnivore on this channel. Nobody watches those old videos. I'm all saying the same thing over and over again. It's so simple. So these little product reviews are helpful, and it's just something, it's an excuse to make content. Make content. And Charlie, once again, is trying to bring up the question of whether I watched Kurt. Charlie, I'm tired. That's enough of that. I'm tired. I'm tired of that. I asked you yesterday, please don't bring that up again, and yet you did. Do you really have that little disrespect for me, Charlie? How many times do I have to ask somebody? I don't know. It's disappointing. Very, very disappointing. I'll say it again. I don't care. I just don't care. Liz says, is there some virtue to organic at all? I don't know. Is there any virtue to buying something with the word luxury attached? Does it really mean anything? Is it really luxury? We talked about this yesterday. Yeah. Now we got a big discussion going on about organic. Organic, I never bought into that. It is. We talked about that yesterday. I did a whole litany on pasture raised and all those other buzzwords. Now it's protein added. Now it always got something. That's what started this mess, was the marketability of the low-fat message. Launched products ruined the health of the human race. They don't care about the ramifications of their propaganda. They only care about whether they can grow their company. Doesn't matter what kind of damage that's being done. We have to use common sense and stop listening to their crap. Mentally, we have to almost put ourselves back in the cave. What would a caveman have done? Maybe a caveman's life would not have been that great after all, but it was life nonetheless. And they survived long enough to have kids, who survived long enough to have kids, whose kids survived long enough to have kids, and eventually, 30 or 40,000 generations later, Mitch is sitting here with a coffee cup that says Morning Coffee with Mitch. Because make no mistake about that, there had to have been an unbroken chain of reproduction from my generation back 50,000 generations to my ancient ancestors, or I wouldn't be here. That is obvious and irrefutable logic. And if any of you don't believe that, the next time you see a tree branch with leaves floating out in midair, not connected to a tree at all, send me a picture of it, and I'll reevaluate. my knowledge and what I believe about evolution and about everything has to be connected to what came before it. All the way back to that first cell somewhere in, we think, the deep ocean next to a steam vent that accidentally had the first chemistry that eventually became life. And every one of us is related to that first cell. How many generations ago was that? That was 3.5 billion years ago. How many generations are there in 3.5 billion years? Inquiring minds want to know, how many generations are there in 3.5 billion years?
The number of generations in 3.5 billion years varies greatly depending on the organism. Microbes can have trillions of generations, while larger, longer-lived creatures have at most a few million generations. Interested in learning more about the history of life on Earth? Tap the mic and ask.
Well, that's a good answer. That's a good answer. We didn't define how long a generation was. Is it 20 years, 18 years, 15 years? Humans can reproduce at 13 to 14 years old. They say the average generation, when we say the word generation, is about 25 years, 4 generations per century, maybe 5. So we can do the math. It's a lot of generations. And in order for you to be here and me to be here, that means that every one of our ancestors had to survive. None of them could have died before they reproduced, or we wouldn't be here. It's incredible when you think about it that way, but that is realistic and that is logic. That's logic. And it's not impossible, but if any of us existed where our chain of ancestry was broken, we would be like that tree branch hanging out in midair, unconnected to anything that came before it, which is, I don't know, I haven't seen it yet. Maybe you have. Maybe you have. Appropriate Flintstone meme in email. Thank you, Barry. Well, Barry's sending me memes, and let me interrupt the chat at this point and look for Barry's memes, and we will go on to the meme section of today's show. Yeah, Barry. All right, my friend, let's see what you have come up with today. Here we are, and here it is.
Dabba dabba doo! Ribs, Flintstone style. Let's get cooking. Yabba dabba doo! What a feast!
That's cool, Barry. It looks like Peter, too. Oh, well, let me play that again. Here, hold on a second. Here, let me hit play.
Dabba dabba doo! Ribs, Flintstone style. Let's get cooking. Yabba dabba doo! What a feast!
That's cool. Okay, another meme. Thank you, Barry. Thank you, Barry. Where was I? Hard to ignore that big yellow box when it comes up, isn't it? That's called Super Chat, guys. And I have to buy me a coffee, too, and you can do that if you like, and I will not complain, I promise. I will not complain, even though I don't advertise that fact too often. Oh, yeah, and Lizzie says the wows. Yeah, I like the 5 wow rating. I think that the star ratings have been grossly overdone. I think we're to have a new wow rating. It kind of says it better. I mean, when you see something that's just astounding, do you actually look at it and say, star? I mean, do you ever express your astonishment and amazement by saying, star? No, you say, wow. See, that means more to me. Wow. Wow, wow. Wow, 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 wow. That means, that more truly expresses just how wow it is. I think we're done with stars. I'm done with stars. I don't believe them anyway. The stars have become propaganda. They become propaganda now. This is a 3-star rating. I'll give it a 4-star rating. Every product review on Amazon is 4 stars, 5 stars. That's meaningless crap now. Propaganda. Wow, on the other hand, is something hard to fake. When you say wow, it's with feeling. You know it's not propaganda. Except when Vince did it with sham wow. Remember Vince was sham wow? See, they knew marketing. They knew the word wow was. So they invented a sham, a cleaning sham, and called it sham wow. And they had a spokesman named Vince. Remember him? I remember Vince. I remember all of those guys. Billy May for OxyClean. And we may make fun of all these old commercials and things, but we remember them, which tells you just how clever and good they were. We remember those campaigns. I can't believe I ate the whole thing. Mamma mia, it's a summer spicy meatball. We remember all of that stuff. Those were the geniuses in marketing and advertising. And if you look back at some of the old ads, that's why I get a kick out of watching these old ads, like with the Oscar Mayer Wienermobile and the jingle. It becomes sort of our culture. Those are genius marketing things. Genius marketing things. Peter is taking time to let everybody know why people love me and why people hate me. That's true. That's true, Peter. But that's true of everybody. Just be yourself. And don't try to be what other people want you to be or demand you be. Give them the double barrel, middle finger. If they think you need to conform to what they think is right, righteous, or socially acceptable. Be yourself. Be yourself. Okay, and here Francine says, Mitch, can you explain what is MCT? Yes, I can. Yes, I can. MCT means medium chain triglyceride. Now, a triglyceride are 3 fatty acid molecules held together by a backbone of glycerol, which is, for all intents and purposes, a sugar. It's the way that our body transports fat around the body as in triglycerides inside lipoproteins. In order to actually use the fat, the triglyceride, wherever it is, has to be disassembled. The glycerol backbone is stripped off, and then we use that in things like gluconeogenesis because it is basically a sugar to manufacture glucose and sugars and things. That's the simplest explanation. In order, believe it or not, in order for fat to get into a fat cell, this is an interesting thing I learned and I was fascinated by it. When a fat cell, when fat has to go from the bloodstream, which is in a lipoprotein, to the inside of the fat cell, it can't pass through the receptors if it's still a triglyceride. So, in order for the fat to get into the fat cell, the glycerol backbone has to be stripped away. The free fatty acids, now the 3 of them, can travel into the cell, and then inside the cell, the glycerol is reattached and it's turned back into a triglyceride. And the opposite is true. To get the fat out of the cell, it has to be disassembled, pass through the. It's like if you have a small door and a big thing, you got to disassemble it before it goes through the door and reassemble it on the other side. And that's what happens. It's crazy to think of that our body would go through all of that chemistry. But it does. So the medium chain part of the equation means how many carbon atoms are in this particular chain of fats, in this particular triglyceride. And these things go together. So you can have a long chain triglyceride, a medium chain triglyceride, short chain triglyceride, and it seems, but they're all fats. They're all fats. But it seems like, because of the chemistry of the way it's used, the medium chain triglycerides, and the medium chain triglycerides, I think, are from 6 molecules to maybe 15, 16, something like that, right in that range, seem to be the best at stimulating the production of beta-hydroxybutyrate, otherwise known as ketones, which is something we think we want. They found that the medium chain triglycerides seem to, and this is from tests, seem to do the best job of stimulating ketone synthesis. Okay? Some other rocket scientists discovered that an 8 molecule, or 8C, or 8 carbon, or whatever they want to call it, is the optimal ketone generating machine. So, way back in the early days of keto and everything, guys like Dave Osprey latched onto this stuff, and they came up with a concept, and they started talking about bulletproof coffee. Remember that? Where you put MCT oil or butter or fats in your coffee, and that actually stimulates ketone synthesis. And we all know, according to what everybody knows, ketones are good. May be true, may not be. We may misunderstand them, but what do we want? Ketones. When do we want them? Now. What do we want? Ketones. Yes, and we need to measure them too. So all that distills down into an MCT is a medium chain triglyceride fat that if you take it, will stimulate ketone synthesis, and the best of the chains is the medium length chain, and the best of the medium length chains is the 8 carbon, and that's why I use the 8 carbon MCT powder from Amazon in my morning coffee, because it looks like coffee creamer. It seems to work okay. That was a long answer to a short question, but I could go on for an hour more about that. But that, I hope, clears that up. That's what that means. School's out. Okay, Danny in Boston. Hi, Danny. How are you? She says hi to Lizzie. I'm up to 7:12. Wow, and it's already 8 o'clock. Yes, sir. I did it again. Okay, I'm going to start running through this and looking for questions. My phone just went off. Who will bet that it was Sam's Club wanting to sell me something? Sam's Club, yes, it was. It was Sam's Club, and they want to sell me some. What do they want to sell me today? They want to sell me a feta pasta bake. They want to sell me the scam of the day. Come on, open it up. Is organic. It starts right out with the word organic. Yes, sir. There it is. Organic seasoning. Once again, proving without a shadow of a doubt, my friends, that everything we see and are presented with, except here, is unadulterated bullshit and propaganda. Prove me wrong. Prove me wrong. It's disheartening. It's disheartening and hard. It's getting hard to navigate this crap, too, in this world. Rough Carnivore from Guam says, hi, how you doing? And Peter is still pontificating, yes. And Lewis says, I am home safely. Good to hear that, Lewis. You survived that dangerous, life-threatening, and life-risking bike ride out in the world. Out in the world. with young teenage girls texting on their cell phones instead of watching where they're going when they're driving. In fact, that caused me to stop riding motorcycles years ago. Yeah. All right, I gotta start cruising. Peter, how do you type so much? How do you still have fingerprints left on your fingers from all that typing? It astounds me. I can't do it. Am I jealous? Maybe a little. Maybe a little. Oh, I see. I'm not the only one that responds in certain ways to people's comments. Liz is, yeah, Liz. Believe me, you understand. I know you do. I know you do. Yeah. And Liz thinks Rick has no vices. Well, Rick, you got her fooled. You don't fool me, though. And what is a vice anyway? What's a vice? Who decides what's good behavior and bad behavior? Another arbitrary thing that none of us have any right to decide whether somebody else's behavior is good or bad. Now, it may sound like an outrageous comment, but in the overall scheme of things, sometimes it's the bad behavior, what we call bad behavior, that ensures survival. Is it still bad? By what definition of bad? We label everything. We continually do this. We label things that we have no right to label because we don't look at these things in the context of their reality. Think about this. I've talked about this before. Is it good behavior or is it bad behavior to run into your neighbor's house with a gun and shoot them all and steal their food? Is that good behavior? Would you consider that good behavior or bad behavior? Well, obviously. Everybody's going to say that's bad behavior and we need to call the police, they need to be arrested and they need to sit on death row and be executed. What if I told you that without that kind of human behavior, none of us would be here today? None of us would even be here that are here today unless humans behaved like that. You say, well, that's impossible, Mitch. Well, I'll tell you, it's impossible that it didn't happen that way. Because let's go back in time. There are two families living next door to each other in two distinct caves. And one family, they haven't had kids yet. Neither of them had kids yet. So you got two cave families living in caves next door to each other. One family managed to have some food, any other family didn't. And we had a big natural disaster and they couldn't hunt anymore. So here you got the family with no food looking next door at the family with the food. And the family with no food says, if I don't go kill these people and steal their food, my family's going to die. So they rationalized the behavior because it was necessary for survival. And Caveman A took a club, went in there and beat to death Caveman B and his entire family, stole his food and survived. And eventually had children, and those children were one of your great-grandparents. So which behavior accounted for the fact that your family lived and the other family didn't? Was it the, quote, bad behavior? And according to who? Now, I'm not saying it's good to run around killing your neighbors, but I can tell you without a doubt, if you think about it logically, we are the descendants of the worst people, of the thieves and the killers, and those that did what was necessary to save their families at the expense of the weaker, nicer, more good people who were always the victims when it came down to me or them. And it always came down to me or them. That's just logical reality. Is it nice? No. It's the winners of the wars that go on to populate the world. The losers, they're done. So that's a little bit of reality. That's a little. How did I get started on that? Some comment must have triggered it, but I think that's logical. I don't like it that way, but I guarantee you, if there was no food, you would be amazed at the human behavior you would see as people were killing their neighbors so they could feed their families. And that's a certainty. We've got how many movies that depict a future dystopia, Mad Max, just like that. And it seems like the most dastardly, the most evil of the humans seem to live at the expense of the nice people. Of the nice people. I talk about that all the time. That's just the way it is. We try to be civilized, and we can be civilized as long as everything's working and the food supply is working. But the minute the gasoline runs out, people are clubbing each other in gas lines. Hell, we'll shoot each other on the highway if somebody even pisses us off these days. That's because that kind of behavior is ingrained in us at a genetic level as a necessary for survival tool. I know it sounds a little rash, but Peter's my greatest cheerleader. Thank you, Peter. I appreciate that. And here we go. Question from Peter. We'll be doing a panel on Thursday morning. I don't know, maybe, I'm watching the panels that Kiltz is doing in the morning and I do on my private stream, and I almost think we're overdoing it. And it may just be me, but I almost think that we're overdoing it. I may or may not continue to Thursday morning. I'll decide on Thursday. But you got to the point this morning on Kiltz, he said, we're the same people, and we almost, could only have so much to say. He had a decent attendance. So I don't know. We'll see. We'll do it Thursday night though, and we're doing Sundays now. So I may not need to do it on Thursday morning as well, unless you got something you just got to say. And if you ever got something that you just got to say, Peter, send me an email. Let me know, and I'll send you a link. You can come in and say it. Anybody can. I wouldn't be adverse to having people join me from time to time, even on my regular morning live stream. We are okay. Everyone knows eating anything in moderation. I'm so tired of hearing all that stuff. It's nonsense. It's propaganda. It's bullshit. Agendas. Instead of trying to spend your time searching for what's bullshit, you'd be much better off trying to search for what's not bullshit. It's much harder to find, but I think maybe more easily recognizable. Maybe. Here's a question from Peter Mitch. The username Uncle Charlie is John Stud the Troll. Wouldn't surprise me. Based by his messages. You hear that, Barry? Uncle Charlie, Peter says, is John Stud the Troll. Well, I think John Stud the Troll is Kurt. I think they're all the same guy, and I'm getting tired of all of them. So, do what you deem right, Barry. I'll let you decide. So that you could be the bad guy and not me. Troublemakers. I try to be nice to these people and put up with them, but troublemakers. Can I say? It only takes one or two. It only takes one or two. And when they know they get under your skin like a bully, then they get off on that. What kind of sick, twisted fuck does stuff like that? Well, we know. We know. We know absolutely. Well, enough of that. I'm not going to get aggravated. It's too late to get aggravated. It's 8:10, and I'm about done this morning. And I want to thank everybody for coming in. I am at 7:30, and I'm going to race through the chat and see the questions. And as far as Uncle Charlie goes, I told him right at the beginning, stop putting QQQs, and he just continues. So I think we're tired of that, and we're finished with it. So we love you, Charlie, or whoever you are. That's it. I'm at the bottom of the chat. I will play some happy music. Yes, sir. Say goodbye to your friends. We made it through another day. Tomorrow is Hump Day. Wednesday, I'll be back. Had a good time today. Hopefully something important was said, or something that maybe hit home with you or was logical. If you disagreed with me, and Tuka says that I missed this question. Yeah, Tuka, gets hot and heavy. Sorry, guy, that I missed your question. I didn't even see your name here because I'm racing to get through this and sidetracked all along the way. But that's the name of the show, and that's the reason I do this. Little something every day. Give me something, say something for tomorrow. So if you got a question, put it in there right off the bat. I'll see it early. Put it in there right around 7 o'clock when I first start. Because I always read every one of those chats from first thing. It's when I get behind and I start racing that I seem to miss that stuff. So everybody that's saying goodbye, it's okay. You missed mine too, says Terry girl. Yeah, Terry, I'm sorry, baby. I do the best that I can. We love you as you are, says Kevin. Thank you, Kevin. Appreciate it. Or is he talking to Cuckoo? Me, I hope he's talking to me. Bye, friend, says Lizzie. Tammy says, thanks, Mitch. Kevin, bye, Mitch. Lori, have a great day, everyone. And Josephine, beef woman. Night, Mitch, and beautiful people. Chester's mom says, thanks, Mitch. And Lady June says, bye all. And Lamb says, great episode. Thanks, Mitch. Have a great day. And with that, I will say, thank you for coming. Thanks so much, my friends. I love you all. Even the trolls. Just go away. But I love you. In your own way. Everybody, I will see you tomorrow morning. Nothing going on tonight, not for me anyway. So I'm going to have an adventure today, and I'm going to cook me a steak in that outdoor grill, and we will talk about that tomorrow. Until then, my friends, you know the drill. Take the rest of the day off and eat meat.